If you run Google LSA, local service ads, you need to pay attention to this video because there's some huge changes. Okay, listen, so you need to know what LSA ads are. If you don't already, they're basically cost per lead, fixed cost per leads ads, which are different than regular Google ads. And they show up when you search for things, especially with like services businesses, like home services businesses, whether it's plumbers or electricians or things like this, but even other things like attorneys and so forth show up, and it's at the very, very top of Google. I mean, even above like Google ads, it's the top thing when you're dealing with like the local businesses that support LSA. Here's an example on the screen right now. I just used for this example an electrician search. So it was in my town that I'm in. So sponsored electricians, and this is at the top of the screen on my mobile phone. And these are different businesses. And you can see there's like a book option, get a quote. There's different calls to action they can have, but they're paying for these listings, and they pay a fixed fee. And that fixed fee that they pay, cost per lead, varies depending on the industry and the market they're in and so forth, like the niche that they're in. For these guys, it would be for electricians, whatever it is. So you have a fixed budget with Google that you put in, and then basically you're going to pay out of that budget. It's going to limit how many you can get, how many of these leads you can get. And by the way, they also just like, it's like Google's competitor entry to things like Home Advisor, where it's a, they send out multiple, basically there's multiple competitive quotes that you can see here. You can message multiple people. That's like very much like Home Advisor and these other Angie and other things like that. But if you just go directly to these businesses, it's going to go to them, and they're going to pay directly. So there's kind of like two different options here that you can get. But bottom line is that things have changed radically with this. If you've been using this and having trouble recently that you haven't had before, let me tell you why. And just one more thing before I even do that, I forgot to show you Google ads and how those are different. This is farther down the page, and you can see these are the people that rank for Google. So this would be like right below the previous screen I showed you. These would be the people that have earned into ranking with SEO in Google. But you see this little guy right here? This is, and sometimes this is at the top. That's a sponsored listing. That's Google ads. So in case you're wondering, like, how does this relate to my Google Ads campaign that my marketing agency is running for me? You should probably be running both LSA and also the Google ads, but we're going to talk about the LSA part. So if you've been noticing that your local service ads have been slowing down lately, we're starting to get data and feedback as to why and getting some clarity around this. So basically Google pulled out location, distance, proximity out of the algorithm for LSA several months ago. And that's been hurting people because essentially you used to get rewarded for being very close to the searcher. Like if you were right next door and the person was searching, you would get higher priority than somebody that was 10, 20, 30 miles away, right? Because they can all end up showing if they're all bidding for leads like in this way. So this has caused basically a drop in call volume for a lot of people because there were these mysterious rules that changed that people didn't even know about. So what's happening is a lot of businesses are going, gosh, this doesn't like work anymore. We're not getting any leads from it. And they're just wondering what happened. Now what happens is the businesses that win are the ones that have higher review scores, faster review velocity, meaning there's more people leaving reviews. This is I talk to you guys all the time about the importance of getting regular reviews for your business because Google is using that to determine how much to show you and rank you. It's a massive ranking factor for them. So even how quickly you're getting reviews versus your competitors. Okay, and then also quicker response times. The time that it takes you to respond to your leads, Google's watching that. They're also watching the conversations that happen with LSA. They know what you're talking with the customers about and how it's kind of going. They're using AI for that, obviously, right? All of these things matter. So if you're kind of like, you haven't been very responsive, oh, I was on vacation, or your team members are not taking care of business, like that hurts you. So businesses that are more responsive, that are like, Johnny on the spot, they're answering the calls, they're, following up with the customers, responding to quote requests, things like that, that matters. So theoretically, you could end up, again, winning business 30 miles away versus a competitor that's like right next door to the customer because you've done all these things right in the new algorithm. This has also led to some other side effects, like way more contractors are appearing for the same searches or whatever the niche is. I'm using contractors here. The same number of calls is getting divided across more competitors, and even very well-run accounts can see like 20 to 30% drops just from losing that location influence that they were used to before. So again, just to summarize, what's driving LSA rankings now, okay, is review score and review velocity, speed of call and message response, accurate service areas, and very specific service categories matching what you do to the customer's searches. and call quality, because again, Google is evaluating conversations more closely now than they were before. So they're not, these LSAs, even though they're local and they have it in the name, they're not actually behaving like a local tool anymore. They're acting more like it's everything else is trust driven. It's all about trust, trustworthiness, reviews, response times, these things. So what should you do to help with this situation? Here's your actionable steps for LSA ads. Number one, tighten your service areas. Don't basically have your business competing 25 miles out if a job's not profitable. Like, shrink the radius and win where the intent is going to be strongest for you. Push aggressive review collection now. Get more reviews, get them quicker, get on it. This is huge. Fix response times. If you're not, figure out how long it's taking you and your company to respond to these incoming leads and clean it up and make it faster, because you're going to get rewarded with more leads essentially. And then clean up your categories, like dial in every one of your services in there, because that's changed quite a bit. Maybe you haven't looked at it since you set it up like a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years ago, right? Go in there, make sure. Generic setups get punished the most, so specific setups, specificity wins in Google LSA. It's not an optimization failure here. This is a slow burn change that Google is basically showing teeth with. So you're gonna need to get these updated to win. By the way, we have other strategies in our agency we use for LSA that didn't used to be required, but we're now implementing to help get these other things, other ranking factors that we see. It's kind of proprietary for us in the way that we advise customers on it, but we do have other things that we can help you with if you want to be a client that goes even deeper than this. But if you just do what I've told you in this video, you're going to win over 99% of the competitors who will never know that this is even happening, because honestly, most people just never pay attention.